just righteous pride. In this one big voice, it's our time. Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore, we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
Welcome to the Jersey Shore podcast with host Damon Galdo on WVLT Cruisin 92.1. We'll take your calls at 846-696-0092.
Good evening. This is not Damon Galdo. This is Constance Ditzel, a state assembly candidate for New Jersey. And you are listening to Cruisin 92.1 WVLT Vineland. We're going to take calls in the second half hour, but you might take a note of this number, 856-696-0092. But first, we're going to chat a bit about candidates in the upcoming November election, affordability in the lovely state of New Jersey. And I'm here tonight with Derek Stalwood, who is our Republican chairperson for the Republican Club. So we'll jump back to me later, and let's hear what Derek has to share with us.
All right. Well, I appreciate you inviting me out tonight just to talk a little bit about Deptford, because every chance I get, I want to. I just want to let everybody know what we're dealing with. So, yeah, my name is Derek Stalwood. I'm the chairman of the Deptford Republican Club. We kind of started back in 2020 with 3 people that wrote themselves in for county committee, and we've grown pretty well since then. This last year, we were the largest growing club in Gloucester County with our county committee seats, which is just really good that people are getting involved and wanting to do a little more in Deptford locally. So, I mean, just some of the things that we're dealing with in Deptford, one of the biggest issues that we have, and I think this is something that you're going to touch on a little bit as well, is just total Democrat rule. For 20 plus years, we've had Democrat controlled council. We've had the same mayor for 17 years. And that's one of our big issues, is that the mayor is voting for mayor directly. So in Deptford Township, the Deptford residents don't vote directly for their mayor. Under the Faulkner Act, our mayor is selected by the town council at the reorganization meeting after every election. And for 17 plus years, we've had the same mayor. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the last 4 years, that are just very disappointed in the leadership that we have. So our biggest goal as the Deptford Republican Club is to give Deptford residents a voice regardless of your political affiliation or where you come from. We want to work for Deptford residents. That's our biggest goal. So we encourage everybody. So we meet the 4th Thursday of every month at the Deptford Public Library at 6:30. And we encourage everybody from Deptford, whether you're Republican, Independent, or Democrat, to come out to our meetings and see what we're about, so that we can, explain what we're trying to do and also hear from them.
I believe Collingswood and Haddonfield, New Jersey, also have a similar setup.
Oh, yeah.
They don't elect a mayor, where they elect 3, and then they choose between them.
Yeah.
Similar to that.
Yeah. So
there are some towns in Jersey that do this.
There's quite a bit. I mean, a lot of towns in Jersey, most of them are that way, actually, council selected. But the issue that I have with it is that we have a larger population with we have 23,000 registered voters. And I think those 23,000 people are more than capable of choosing their own mayor. Mm-hmm. And then it just offers another point of accountability for Deptford residents in our town council, because the mayor leads the town council on all the meetings. And if you are from Deptford and you've been to a council meeting, the what else you got line. And if you're from Deptford, you know exactly what I mean. It's just not welcoming. I've been to these town council meetings, ask questions, they move you on. Very convoluted agendas where they have their agenda items and it'll just be listed as a title and you have no idea what it actually means or what they're voting on. And they always vote it straight through. So, they've talked about it beforehand without talking to anybody in the public about what they're getting involved in. So
sounds like a school board meeting I've been to.
It sounds like a lot of meetings that I'm sure are going around all over New Jersey in that way. But yeah, so the vote for mayor thing, that's one of our biggest things. We've actually circulated a petition in Deptford over the last couple of years to force a ballot question to ask Deptford residents whether or not they want to vote for their mayor or not. And I think that would actually go a long way, just to allow the Deptford residents to decide that question. And they can decide that this November by voting for our candidates. We've got 5 candidates that are up out of 7 seats, and we've got 5 great candidates that are running this year. It's Mary Wood, David Aber, Steve Marfia, Martin McDonough, and Eric Anderson are all running. They're the 5 Republicans that are running for Denver Town Council. And, I think it's a line that Trump actually had is, what do you have to lose? We've had the same Democrat rule for the longest time. And it's definitely time for a switch, especially with the issues that we're dealing with in town. I mean, just recently over the summer, we saw that the Bobby Schisler lawsuit going through, a personal suit from his family against the township. And just a little bit of backstory on that. Bobby Schisler was an officer in Deptford that was shot on the job and eventually died in the hospital. And, the lawsuit alleges that was neglect of the township. And speaking to people that are in the know for the police department in town, underfunded, understaffed, under-equipped. And it's just a constant battle between them and the council, which is basically run by the mayor. I mean,
were they caught in this defund the police wave? Or were they, when you say underfunded,
yeah.
Were you caught in that a little bit where they kind of went, maybe didn't totally defund it, but you didn't see any?
Well, I think it was more of a personal vendetta. From what I've heard, and I can't confirm any of it, but from what I've heard from people, like I said, that are in the township that actually know the kind of inner workings between the council and the other agencies, the police department, and the school board. I mean, we have a mayor that wants his hands in everything, and if he doesn't get it, he's not gonna be happy. Which is, I mean, it's so important that we have this vote for mayor. And then that way we can actually back our police department, because they do the hardest job in town. They're the ones that are out there protecting us. They're the ones out there making sure that our residents are safe, and they deserve all of the help and funding and training and equipment that we can give them so that they can do that job and get home safely. Yeah.
Good. So, there's lots of reasons to be concerned. I jumped in this race. People said, why in the world are you doing this? This has been occupying a lot of my time and energy.
Especially in LD5.
Especially in LD5. Let me tell you, LD5, what does that mean? Legislative District 5 is a real chopped up part of Jersey. I would represent Deptford. I would represent Woodbury and Woodbury Heights. I would represent the city of Camden, the city of Pennsauken, and the little communities surrounding Haddon Heights, Audubon, Barrington, and a group there. So you can already tell from that description, if you know New Jersey a little bit, these are 3 pretty different sections.
Oh, yeah.
Bedroom communities, your cities with city problems, and Gloucester County with some inherited long-term county problems, the GCL wanting to race through there and such. So I think it is a challenging district. But I jumped in because I had been going to Trenton and listening in, and then I'd go to Newark and listen in to court cases on pertaining to K through 12 education, and why are only 30% in LD5, only 30% passing the math assessments, only 30%. Why are in the high 50s for language arts? Why in Deptford alone, if I may say, it's 24% passing the math standard. What are we doing in school, or what are we doing too much of in school? That points to a couple of things I want to
That's the
dive
question:
into.
is what are they doing too much in schools?
What are they doing too much? The curriculum is burgeoning at the seams with adding extra topics. I don't know if many people know this, but gender ideology is new. We are the 2nd state to teach it in K through 12. Starting in kindergarten, we're teaching gender ideology. We're second to California. So we are adding that into curriculum. There's some other topics I won't go into right now because it's a whole nother tangential discussion. But I do have a background in educational publishing. I've been creating textbooks for a period of 30 years. I know actually a lot about curriculum development, and I know there's things you can do about it.
Sure.
I know you can solicit and get a book published that will be more balanced. And my issue is these books need to be, or the topics in the curriculum, if you're going to teach what somebody on the left might say, you should teach what someone on the right might say. You might teach both sides of the equation. I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do in education?
I think absolutely. If you're going to be teaching it, teach both sides. But I definitely don't think kindergartners need to be taught any of it.
And they're exactly.
They need to learn how to read.
Yeah, when I talking about teach both sides, I mean in many, many topics.
Sure.
So, for example, you can have history, which should encompass all the different immigrant groups, for example. It doesn't have to be separated courses out.
Yeah, I agree.
It should be one fat course. When this group comes in, Martin Luther King days, when going back to Asian Americans, World War II, when they come in. It should be all consolidated rather than all this separate coursework.
Yeah, I mean, history for me, I love history. It's like where I watch history documentaries, and I tell you, my wife is just bored to death.
Yeah.
And every time I do it, but I think learning history, that's a huge part, because you got to see where you came from to know where we're going.
Yes.
And do it blindly. I mean, there should be no political bias when we're teaching it, history or any other subject.
And any teachers out there, I don't want to pick on you. Truly, I don't.
Sure.
We are handed a curriculum and we work with it. And I know teachers are doing the very, very best they can. All I'm saying is there's some solutions around this, and to have a more balanced presentation of topics.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to get off my high horse on that, but that's why I started going to Trenton, having to do with education. And when I got there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just a part of the puzzle. Starting with walking in the door and seeing all the empty desks and chairs in the Senate, because they're still not back after COVID lockdown.
They're not actually legislating in there?
Well, they're legislating, but the offices are empty.
Oh,
they don't
okay.
have to. It's a large building. I think it was renovated in 2019.
I've never been
You
up
can't.
that way.
There's not enough people there to buy water in the cafeteria.
Okay.
They have no cafeteria service. So that was kind of an eye opener.
So we want to send you up there to fill an office and get to work.
Thank you. Okay, now that's a good question. What is assembly? What is assembly? People don't know this. Assembly is the equivalent of Congress. So when New Jersey talks about assembly, it's essentially New Jersey Congress. When they talk about a Senate, it's essentially New Jersey Senate. So you have Senate and Congress in New Jersey. Let's call it Senate and Assembly. So Senate and Assembly, as Derek mentioned, have been totally dominated by the Democrats for 20 years.
In New Jersey.
And let me tell you what that means. This is an interesting comment a friend made to me. She said, I'm not going to vote for Jack Ciavarelli. He was in Assembly and he didn't do anything. Why would I want to vote for him? Things I wanted, he didn't do. And I thought, okay, this gal's a lifelong Democrat. So before I give her a thorough answer, I consult my friend ChatGPT. And, Jack was in back in 2011. He was in through 2018. So he was in during those years, number one, with solid Democrat rule, number one. So when you try to bring anything forth, it falls.
Yeah.
Or if you bring forth a good bill, and I learned this in talking to some Assembly people on a bill we're working on.
Got it.
Well, they may not gut it. They might like it, but they'll take over the sponsorship.
Oh, really?
And then they'll tweak it, take over the sponsorship, and then it becomes their bill. Now, you'll vote for it because it was a good bill in the first place, but it doesn't look like the Republicans sponsored it or had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's moving through. So first of all, we haven't been able to get a single vote through. And I thought her comment was curious. I thought, if you're upset he wasn't doing anything, well, you got the people in office you wanted to. Your Democrats were sitting there. What is it you wanted that they're not doing?
Right.
It's like people don't realize
Yeah.
that the Jersey problems are Jersey problems. Third point I'm making, and I'm going to turn it back to Derek. People talk about federal issues all day long. If you're a Republican, they may or may not like Trump. Let me tell you, Trump didn't set up our tax code. Trump didn't set up our utilities problem. Trump didn't sign a bill that lowered the age from 16 to 14 for a child to get mental health care without their parents knowing. These are Jersey problems.
Sure.
And we created Jersey problems. Jersey has to solve them. It really doesn't matter about federal. I know you might find that odd, but everything I hear people complaining about is a Trenton-created issue.
Yeah.
So Trenton needs to solve them. We have problems in our own backyard. Let's stop talking about federal. There's enough to do there, granted, but we have to take care of our own schoolyard first.
I mean, it's such a great point that we have to kind of separate ourselves from the federal. Because even in Deptford in local campaigns, we deal with that same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Going through the primary election, we were out doing door knocking, and a couple of people were very angry with us because of Trump. And I said, look, I understand you may be upset about the federal Republicans and what they're doing up there, but we're here for Deptford. I mean, our main yes, we're Republicans because we hold certain values, and we align more with that party. Absolutely, we're Republicans, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but we are here for Deptford and the local things. We have no control over what Congress does and what the president does on the federal level. But what we can control is the local municipal budget. What we can control is whether or not the town council is working properly with the other agencies in town, the MUA, the school board. We can absolutely resolve those issues. And there's plenty of problems in Deptford and South Jersey and all of New Jersey that we can deal with here locally, and that's what it was meant to be. The federal government wasn't meant to be this giant overarching thing that rules our lives.
Exactly.
It's there to protect the rights of the states and the people so that they can govern themselves, and that's what we need to. I think the education part of it, letting people know how our system works, what the assembly is, so that they can understand how it functions better, and what their role as a resident or a citizen is in that system is just huge. I mean, that's something I don't think is taught nearly enough at school.
Yeah.
And how can you know how you can affect your society if you don't understand the system that you're living in? It's just something that in the Different Republic Club we do try to do.
Good.
When we talk to people, I said about the vote for mayor issue, you say, hey, did you know you didn't vote for mayor? And 80% of people say, oh, I didn't know that we didn't vote for our mayor. Well, how many times have you voted? Oh, well, I vote every election. Well, you never saw that there wasn't a line there that said you're mayor? And you're just voting for town council. So one of our big things is educating the residents of Deptford on how the system works and what it does.
Yes.
Yeah, it's big.
Very good point. Very good point. We don't. We advocate for basic schools, basic skills in schools. Also, civics. Basic civics would be good to get back to.
Absolutely.
And a point about basic skills. People need basic skills to go into the trades, to be successful in the trades. They need basic skills.
Well, they don't even concentrate on them anymore.
Exactly. They need to get more pride and success for people going into the trades, more pride and success for people going to academia. Either group of kids needs to balance a checkbook.
Well, and it's so balancing a checkbook is huge, because I remember going through school, you weren't taught those things.
Yeah.
And I actually, I'm not the brightest in math. That's why I fix cars. And I was in, the easy math, but I did learn those things.
Well, our Democrat Assembly hasn't learned to balance a checkbook. we got a 20 million plus since the Murphy years. 20 billion we've added to the budget. We've grown 45% in the last 5 years. 45%.
And we wonder why we're the most taxed state in the nation.
Lovely topic you just brought up. I don't know if a lot of people realize this. Get this, and this is numbers from the Tax Foundation of America. You can go and check me. We are number one in corporate taxes. Who wants to come in here and start a business? We're number one in corporate taxes. We're number two in property taxes.
Who beats us out?
It vacillates every year. I'm going to say somewhere in the Northeast.
Oh, okay.
But we're up there. We're number two in
so
property taxes. So we fight for the worst first place.
We
fight. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but every August you're like cringing when your property tax comes. What's it going to be this time?
I know mine went up.
And then you're thinking it's going to be because you're supporting your schools, and then lo and behold, the school budget was cut this year, and you're like, well, so where's my money going? But back to taxes, we're the third highest income tax state. Now, yes, there's some deductions and fun stuff after that, but third highest in income, and we're in the upper 50% in state tax. We just love to tax.
Oh, absolutely.
How are your children, my children, going to be able to do simple things?
We're not even teaching them.
Yes. But the state is making it hard for you.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, just so I'm a small business owner, and every time I sit down to pay that tax bill, I'm like, that's sports for my kids. Mm-hmm. That's something that I could be building a better house with, or I could be building a better life with for my family. Thousands of dollars that go into it. And where I'm at, I'm looking around, I'm just wondering, where's that money going? So my shop's in Gloucester City, and it's right next to Camden. In Camden, where's the money going? It's supposed to be going there, but are they building it up? Are they making it better? Are they making it safer? I don't see it. I see it, everything kind of crumbling.
This is a tough one for me to comment on, not being in state assembly yet.
Yeah.
But I do know that the budget was approved at $59 billion July 1, and they added some unbid items. Murphy did another layer of things since April. I just got a list on my phone this morning if I was to dig it out. So it kind of got porked up at the last minute too.
Oh, he's on his way out. So
we have a structural deficit going on. So even we're spending more than we're bringing in. And guess who's going to bring it in, Hope? Who's going to bring home the bacon? It's you, my taxpayers.
Yeah, right.
We're bringing home the bacon, but not all the time. This is going to launch us to another topic. The energy crisis. And I say crisis in terms of what it means for the befuddling situation we've gotten ourselves in.
Yeah.
But when you're seeing your utility bills go up, guess what? After they're going to go up more because they have a bill, I think it's 5255, that if you are a middle income or higher, you will be paying higher rates.
And when you say middle,
No matter, in other words, you're going to be paying for more electric and gas that you use because you are middle income and higher. Here's this. Here's what makes you rich. You earn more than $60,000 as a single person. You earn
that's
more.
the middle income bracket
Yes.
that they're going to make you pay more.
That and higher, you have to pay more. This is the rich, okay? Two people, you earn $62,000 and higher. Family of four, $125,000 and higher. Well, I don't know, but I've seen some people's tax bills, and just starting out with, mortgages, I don't find 60,000 rich in today's world. Do you?
No.
This tax the rich game has been a term floating out there that does not bode well.
Yeah.
But this is where, so if you think your energy's high now, and you're in these brackets I just told you, you're going to be paying more. I think they're going to hold it off until after the election. It's going to be more.
Well, hopefully after the election, we can take control of the Assembly and the Senate and the governor's house, and we can stop that kind of
Well,
nonsense.
this is what we need. Jack Ciattarelli can only do so much without his assembly.
Yep.
You've got, I'll just briefly mention our candidates. You can jump back to your candidates because I'd like to hear more about them.
Sure.
We have in Legislative District 5, Constance Ditzel, that's myself, and Nilsa Gonzalez. I'm from Collingswood, New Jersey. She's from Mount Ephraim. She grew up in Camden. She understands some of the issues in our district. We have an LD6, which is going to be Voorhees, Cherry Hill, Haddonfield, and some other communities up and down the White Horse Pike. That's Jack Brangan and Pete Sykes. They are running. We have in Legislative District 4, which includes Camden County and parts of Gloucester, and that's going to be Jerry McManus and Amanda Esposito.
Yeah, so we got a good slate.
And we have, who do we have in 3, LD3? Conwell.
Well, and I forget his name.
Gosh, I'm sorry. It's not coming to my mind, but
Chris can call in and tell us.
Thank you. I'm a Camden County person, so I don't know the.
Right. I
Anyway,
focus on Deptford. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I just mentioned 8 names. 8 names. We need to flip eight seats. I think even if we can flip 13 total in New Jersey, it might be enough to give us a voice. So I'm telling you, folks, if you don't usually vote in the governor election, now's the time to raise your hand and vote for Jack Ciattarelli. He's been at this game a long time. Vote for Jack. Vote for anyone down slate. Because I guarantee, even if we're not the loves of your life, we are better than the rogue alternative.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
So tell me about your candidates and
Yeah.
Deptford.
Well, so just a little bit about Deptford for voting, like statistics. In 2024, we had a 72% turnout. We have 23,000 registered voters, right? And that kind of breaks down to 42% Democrats, registered Democrats, 14% Republicans, but 43% unaffiliated. So, that if we want to win, we're behind enemy lines in New Jersey.
Yes, we
With
are.
14% Republicans, we need a ground game, and we need to be able to offer a better platform to the unaffiliated and the Democrats alike. So that's what the team that we built is committed to, talking to everybody in Deptford. So just a little bit, Mary Wood, she's a local Deptford grandmother, and she's actually she's great. She's very fun to be around.
I met Mary.
Yeah, so she does a lot with the Republican Women's Republican Federation of Republican Women. It's a long name.
Yes,
I
I'm
always
part of
get
that
mixed
group,
up. Yeah. So she's been very dedicated getting out there. She's had her finger on the pulse of Deptford for a while now. She's been helping out cancer survivor, and that's really what got her into politics, to get her off the couch after all of that and get involved in something that was a little bit bigger than herself. So she's been doing awesome with that, and she would just be perfect for the job.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then Eric Anderson, retired military. He works over at the local gun shop, the Arsenal in Deptford. He actually ran for Gloucester County Commissioner a couple of years back. Another solid, great patriot, ready to get involved, ready to get in the fight and win for Deptford, and work for the Deptford residents. And then we've got David Aber, lifelong Deptford resident. He went up to the schools, volunteered for the Little League, all of that stuff. He's been working in the Republican Club for a while now. He's run a couple of times. Very, very solid. His thing is the budget. He likes to get in there and look at all the numbers and figure out where everything's going. So he's very knowledgeable in all of that. Martin McDonough, He works for I always forget it, but he works over in Philly for like the SPCA, a private company for animals and stuff, taking care of the animals over there. Florida transplant. He's been living here with his family for I think 8 or 9 years now. But he was one of the original founding members of the Republican Club.
Super.
So he was fed up with everything. He decided he was going to get involved, wrote his name in on the ballot for a county committee, and was one of the founding members that started the Republican Club and got us rolling again.
You have an active club here. It's impressive.
Well, yeah, I mean, we built it from the ground up. Like I said, in 2020, there was no solid
Yeah,
Republican
you built it
club.
up. You did a lot on that.
Well, me and my team. I mean, I do my bit.
Yeah, but it's okay for me to brag about you. You can.
Yeah, you can. You can keep it going. So was that was Mark McDonough. Steve Marfia. He's been living in Denver for a while now. He's actually from California. He came over here into New Jersey to actually plant a church.
Wow.
So he's a local pastor. He's been involved in a couple of different groups. If you remember, it's an old thing that people actually maybe forgot used to happen. It's called Deptford Day. He was on the Deptford Day Council before that got axed for free barbecues around town by the council. So Marfia's been very engaged locally, like I said, through his church, through community work, and he's running again. Just another great candidate, retired Marine. We've got just a great slate of people that are passionate and ready to get to work for Deptford residents. And we actually start campaigning this Saturday. We're going to be meeting at the splash pad parking lot at the Sola Park at 9 a.m. We're going to hang out there with the candidates, so a little bit of meet and greet if you wanted to come out and hang out with them, meet them, and then from there we're going to go start knocking doors and talking to residents.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think we are both in our counties. One of our official slogans is legislation for the next generation so that our children can afford their lives. And my second slogan is the Democrat Party has left you. It's time for you to leave them.
Sure.
Just think about what is going on that you are doing better, that your finances are under control, that some of the things your children are learning or not learning, or that they're not graduating with the skills they need, that get this, the age of consent for mental health care was dropped from 18 to 16. And now they put through a bill to drop from 16 to 14.
But when you say mental health care,
I think behavioral health care means they cannot get drugs. They can't get a prescription, but they can get psychological health care. I believe that's what that means. So I'm not sure I'm presenting that correctly, but I'm pretty darn sure you can't get a prescription without your parents.
Sure.
But I can sit and talk to a counselor. If that counselor, I don't have to tell my parents. I can consent to do that on my own.
Yeah.
There seems to be chipping away at what parents used to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Suicide hotline. They aren't obligated to tell your parents you've contacted them if the child doesn't want you to.
Yeah.
That has some pluses and minuses. I realize what you might be thinking. But all in all, parents love their kids beyond anything, and they need to know what's going on.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's a kid that's, and we've seen all the news stories, we've seen it all over the country where, there's a mental health issue with the child, or, they socially transition in their schools and then they're not telling the parents. That is an issue. I mean, the parents have a right to know what's going on with their children, and the school does not have a right to hide any of that.
And yet,
If
there is
they're
a
having an issue-
policy they do.
If they're having an issue with anything, questioning anything in mental health, the school should be obligated to tell the parents what's going on so that they can be a part of the solution.
Correct. There are 585 school districts. There are most of the districts that carry forth this policy that New Jersey Department of Education recommended as guidance. It's called Policy 5756, that they can keep a confidential file as long as that child wants them to. 24 have repealed it. So you're in a school district, it can be repealed because it's actually not a law, it's guidance.
I mean, these are the things that what we get with overarching government.
Yeah.
When you have a government that just has way too much control, and you have these giant agencies that are forcing these things from the top down, that's not organic. We need to bring everything back to local,
Right.
Especially the education. Trump trying to get rid of the Department of Education for the federal level is just 100% right. Sure, we all want to see standards across the board, and we want to see everybody doing well. But since the creation of the Department of Education, have our standards risen, or are we just falling further away from those high standards? We got to get it back just to the basics: families, God, local people involved in the local issues, so everybody is sorted out and taken care of locally. You know what's best for you and your neighbor, not Trenton, not
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. That's what we need. We just need that local governance back.
Very good. I'm going to, I think we're going to take a break for a bit. I want you to think about if you have any questions based on some of the things we're talking about, or if not, we'll talk a little bit more about the energy issue. But feel free to call in we'll take a little 5-minute break. The number is 856-696-0092. There's only one line coming in, folks. So we ask that when you pose your question, we will have it, and then we ask you to hang up so that the next caller can be on the queue. Okay, we'll be back.
Great. Thank you.
Want to know the secret to what makes Rita's water ice so delicious? Did you know that Rita makes their ice fresh every day with real fruit at each store? It's that combo of real fruit and real fresh that makes Rita's Italian ice so one of a kind. There's really no place like Rita's. 3470 South Delsey Drive, Vineland.
We could go to Rita's. We could eat a Rita's.
This is Brian Lankin, owner of Al Shoes at 639 Lannis Avenue in downtown Vineland. We carry shoes for the entire family from size 0 all the way up to a woman's 13 and a men's 19. We measure the foot and give personal service. I am a third-generation business owner. My family has been at this location since 1961. We carry such brands as American Made, SAS, Wolverine, Timberland, Stride Rite, and many more. We carry medium, wide, and extra wide in the store. You name the color, and we have it. If not, we dye the shoe on the premise. We carry lace-up, Velcro, slip-on, and sneakers, shoes, sandals, and boots. We have a whole selection of work shoes, including slip-resistant. Our shoe store hours are 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Saturday. Mention this ad, and we will give $5 off a purchase of $25 or more, $10 off a purchase of $100 or more. We have been here for 53 years and the last independent shoe store in Cumberland County. Our Shoes, 639 Lannis Avenue, downtown Vineland.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Steve Bresner, your South Jersey dentist for, well, now 43 years. At a time when most of the dentists I started with have retired, I'm still right here in Vineland and Bridgeton doing what I do. Well, why is that? You know, sometimes you're blessed to love your job, and that's exactly what my career has been. A love affair. Still love meeting the fine folks each week who choose to try out my super talented team. Still love learning. Still love giving you a totally new experience of what dentistry can be and should be. A pain-free, spa-like experience where you feel that you're our most valued patient, our only patient, because at that moment, you are. I've been fortunate to have been trained by world-class legends in dentistry, and I bring that experience to your care. The latest trend that has our phones blowing up is the concept of teeth in a day, a beautiful new smile in one visit, no matter how debilitated your mouth might be. If that sounds inviting, call Michelle at 856-692-1370. 856-692-1370.
Hello, we have a caller on the line. Caller, I want you to know that you're live and on air.
Uh-oh. Sorry, we might have lost that one. So if you were on there and you dropped, just go ahead and make sure you give us a call back, and we'll definitely get you in to answer that question. I mean, I'm actually very much looking forward to see what people are talking about. I mean, we went through quite a bit of things, and we'd be happy to talk about those. But if there's anything that we missed, I'm very interested to see what on the higher level that you're going for, assembly candidate and everything, what their big concerns are. I think you covered quite a few.
I did. I mean, you could have a whole show on one. All right, caller, you're live and on the air. What would you have to say today?
Well, this is Damon Galdo. I just wanted to know how you guys are doing on the show today.
Hey, Damon.
We're doing good. Hopefully, we're doing your show justice.
Well, you actually are. You're doing too much justice. I might retire.
Yeah.
You guys sound pretty good. But no, I just wanted to let you guys know that's what it's for. It's for you guys to use this as a platform. That's why I created it, and I'm very glad that you guys are using it for that. Derek, I know I've been hounding you for a long time to come on the podcast, so you got to come on the podcast, buddy. And I know Constance is going to come on as well. But I know you have a lineup of callers that are looking to call in. I think Jack is looking to call in as well. So I won't take up the airtime. But you guys are doing wonderful. You're doing great.
Thanks, Damon.
Thank you, Damon. Appreciate it.
All right. I'll let you guys go.
Have a good night.
Do anything about the interference? There's a little
It's just
static.
little things.
Static.
Yeah, I think it might just be the ACR. But All right, great. I think he said that Jack's calling it, which would be awesome. We'll talk to Jack on it.
Wait till we have someone coming in.
See what he's got.
So I just make a comment about energy while we're waiting. We put a lot of money into multi-billions, actually, 7 billion, something like that, into setting up wind farms. Now, whether you agree with it or not, okay, caller, we have a caller in.
Hi, Constance. This is Jack.
Hey, Jack, how are you?
Good. Hello, Derek.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I've been listening. It's really been interesting conversation. Let me just make an overarching comment to the listeners that this election coming up in November, New Jersey is at a tipping point. I think Constance already mentioned that we have the highest taxes.
Oh, we dropped him. Sorry about that, Jack. Is that you give it a call back in with a question if you got one? But
Yeah, I'll finish what he said, though. This is a tipping point.
Yeah.
We have the highest taxes. That's just it. People don't realize, again, remember that little logo that says Jersey Fresh? These are Jersey Fresh issues. This is not a federal. I'm going to put that produce thing all over the place because this is a Jersey issue. And Jersey has a lot of power standing on its own. We do our own thing. We only have our own laws of discrimination. We defy constantly, if we choose, what's going on the federal level. And sometimes that's warranted, sometimes it's not. But the fact is, if you don't like what's going on in Jersey, blame Jersey or help Jersey.
Well,
we have to complain. We can do what we can to help.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you can help. Just getting involved in local races, your local parties, and whatever party you're affiliated with, bringing more people in and bringing more ideas in is always going to help if we have fresh ideas.
Right.
If it's the same people over and over and over again, like I said, our mayor, 17 years he's been mayor. 20 plus years the Democrats dominated our town council, and like you said, 20 plus years in New Jersey legislature.
Right. There's just not a balance of ideas. I mean, if anything, we want to bring out some of the issues and some of the ideas.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees that whatever is going on isn't necessarily working. And a lot of people like to be on Facebook complaining about it, but very few people want to get up and do the work. And honestly, it's not very much work. I mean, unless you're running for office. I mean, especially for you, you're in a tough district, so you're going to be doing a lot of work here.
Well, for starters, you can go to your local school board meetings. That's a start. We have a caller. Caller, you're on air when you come on.
Right. This is Jack again. I
Hey,
think my
Jack.
name call
Okay.
dropped. I always do my best oratory on a dropped line.
Best singing in the shower too, right?
Yeah, I hope this hangs in here. This is the cell phone connectivity at Cherry Hill. But what I was talking about was the importance of especially the Republicans to please come out and vote. This is showtime. This is the time to move the Democrats out of. The state has been a slow motion train wreck for 25 years.
Yep.
We've got big problems, financial problems. We have a huge problem with the pension. We have to have a come to Jesus moment with the pension because the pension is going broke. And frankly, if the pension goes broke, that becomes the number one line item in the state budget. Everything else is second and third and fourth.
Sure.
So we need to make the changes. Too much has been done out of Trenton that has been done by directives, different sort of administrative code that carries the same weight as law. We really need to get some of these major decisions done through the legislature. The Immigrant Trust Directive, which made this state a sanctuary state, probably the most impactful directive that's hit us in the past 10 years. No one asked the citizens if we wanted to be a sanctuary state. No one introduced it into the legislature or to the assembly. It was a directive.
And that's one of those things is like, okay, somebody is running for office. Are they telling you everything they're looking to do? Or do they even know what they're going to be doing when they get into office? Because, I mean, the way that I look at the Democrat Party is they are a monolith. They act as though they're individuals when they're running for office and all those things, and they tell you the sweet nothings. But then they get in and this is something that the Republicans actually need to emulate. They get in and they stick together. They have their overarching plan that they're told to do, and they stick together and they hang on to it. And it's one of the issues that Republicans have from the top down.
I agree. I mean, they stick together no matter what it is. Kamala Harris being an example.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
something you
let
touched
me
on,
just
Jack.
end with this. I don't want to take up the line.
Go, Jack.
I want to address something you said. You talked about the pension going out. You mentioned last night, just so people understand, the private sector has gone to 401ks a long time ago. The private sector has gone to 401ks, matching contributions, and this is a perfectly reasonable suggestion for new employees that come on board. That's what the private sector does, and it shouldn't put the whole of New Jersey on the line.
Right.
With
And we are the fourth worst pension in the country. There's
Oh my God, we rank so high in all these frightful categories.
We're at the top of the list in all the wrong places.
Is someone told?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because we didn't learn our math well. And
Jack,
Yeah, the state is upside down.
yeah,
We're at the top in all the wrong categories.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
When you have, like Eric was saying, when you have a party that's been in control for 25 years, you become lazy, familiarity, and ultimately it turns into contempt for the voters.
Yep. Yeah,
And when
I think you're 100%
decide,
right.
I don't
they
care
get
what the
complacent.
voters think. I'm going to make this a sanctuary state. I don't care what you think.
Mhm.
If we're going to do transgender education, I don't care what you think, what we're going to do. None of these things went through the legislature. These were all
Yeah.
administrative codes, directives. Same thing with the Monroe or Mount Laurel Doctrine.
right.
This-
Jack, we may, if I may interrupt you, we may jump back to this category. I'd like to go back to the immigrant directive and the wind energy, but we have another caller, and I don't want to keep them waiting too long.
Appreciate your call, Jack.
Thank
Nice
you.
talking to you. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, next caller, you are live on air.
Hello, caller. Can we hear your
Yes.
name?
My name's Bill from Newfield, New Jersey. I'm calling about the national debt.
From where, New Jersey?
I'm sorry?
From which town in New Jersey?
Newfield.
Bloomfield. Okay, thank you.
Okay. The national debt is one of the biggest problems the country has. We're passing it on to our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. My suggestion is that right now you pay Social Security up to $170,000. Once you exceed that amount of earnings, you pay no more Social Security, nor does your employer pay any more Social Security. My suggestion is everybody should pay Social Security on earned income. If they did that, the amount of money going into Social Security would probably triple or quadruple. And my suggestion is that for however many years it would take somebody that has access to the facts and figures, which I do not, would have to figure out the amount of time it would take. For the next amount of time that it would take, they would have this employees' Social Security go directly into the Social Security fund. The employer, wait a minute, let me finish. The employer's part of the Social Security would go directly into a fund to pay down the national debt. Once the national debt was paid down to something that was within reason, there should be a bill passed saying it can never go above that again unless we are in a world war or something. Something of that nature would be the only reason they can go above that with the national debt.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The national debt is a huge issue.
Interesting. Now, how could we parlay that, take that into the SALT, the state and local? Our New Jersey Assembly can't affect Social Security on federal level, however good the suggestion. What can we do about our state and local?
To put it in the state and local. You're part of the political machine in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to talk to that are in different positions than you to try and get this the congressman's here or the president. Now, I spoke on CNN one day with this suggestion to a lady who was from the Democratic Party. She was a congressman. She agreed with me, and that was about 7 or 8 months ago, and I haven't heard a thing about that. She forgot about it on the street. So
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the bigger issues is that obviously the federal debt, that's a federal issue. Not to say that state legislators can't do anything about it and raise hell.
But he's right. I mean, we should, if I get in, I should be in more of a networking position to connect with people.
Especially
if he
when
wants
you
to
get
raise
in.
an issue like that. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. You're a state legislator. Do you talk to federal legislators ever?
I do. I go up into Trenton and I've been
Bring that
talking
to their
to,
attention.
I have been talking to the state assembly people. I don't really have an audience with federal folks yet.
Yeah,
I'm not an incumbent. I'm running.
right. We're trying to get her in so that we can get some
But
of these things done.
I'd like to be able to answer yes to what you said, but I really don't have an audience with the federal group yet.
Well, and I'll tell you something else. I've tried for a long time and very frequently. I tried on the computer to try and find out how much money Social Security took in any given year, whether it's fiscal or calendar. I can never get an answer.
Yeah, I mean, that information is definitely out
Yeah.
there. I don't know how to direct you to it at the moment, but the amount that we do spend is insane, and that's on the federal level, on the state level too. I mean, like you were saying, the budget is, I forget the number that you said, the last budget that we just passed. $59 billion. Are we getting $59 billion worth of services through our state? I'm not sure that we are.
There's one more thing I'd like to say. I suggest if anybody could get the president's here, nobody else is going to be able to do this. Well, the president should demand that on the next federal election, whether it's midterm or presidential election, there should be a referendum on the ballot for term limits for Congress and Senate. They're never going to put term limits on themselves. It should be up to the American people to decide whether they want term limits or not.
100% agree about term limits. 100%.
We should not have somebody like Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Joe Biden in there for 50 years. It's insane.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
I appreciate your call, man. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
When he says on term limits, it's something that actually I think New Jersey gets right on the governor level, where you get 2 consecutive terms and then you have to drop out. Because, I mean, it's just on the local level, it is hard to get people involved. It's even harder to get people to run. So when you have somebody that's good and solid, not saying that Phil Murphy is, but when you do have somebody that's good and solid, I think you give them that shot, and then after their 2 terms, they leave, and then we see somebody else, and then you get a comparison, just like we did with Trump, Biden, and now we got Trump back. You get that comparison, and if you want to bring that person back, you have the option to do so.
Right.
I do.
Yeah, our budget is just going nuts. So the $7 billion or $6 billion, I'll be kind, going to the wind project.
Mhm.
So what happened? A quick summary is that, as I understand it, we deactivated some of our natural gas. We deactivated or never set up some of the nuclear. And then the wind energy was going to take over.
Mhm.
But we deactivated this in advance of it being in operation.
And-
So there's not a single wind farm, whether you like wind farms or not. The point is, not a single one is up and running. Now, if you see in Atlantic City, that's for the waste system there. That is not for generating electricity for the. That's what that because people have asked me about that, and I've seen it before myself.
Well,
but there is zero in operation. This was massive poor planning. Then Orsted, the company, went belly up. They made a settlement of 120 million, which really, in the grand scheme, is not that much considering.
That's all bucket.
But they should have filtered that straight back to taxpayers.
Yeah,
frankly.
we should have got a check.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is that we're going to be paying more.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that it is always backwards with these people that are in power when they try to do these overarching things with energy. I mean, whether or not we actually do have a climate crisis, the way to go about it is to make sure that you can replace the systems that are already in place before you destroy the systems that are in place.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, how are you going to backfill that? If you're taking down those systems, like I said, with the nuclear power plants, we should. I mean, this is just my opinion. I think nuclear is the real green energy. We could power the world with it, and we've got plenty of space where we can stick it out where it's not going to harm anybody if it does blow up.
Why are people against the nuclear energy? Can you give me a?
Chernobyl.
Oh,
I think.
movies,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
you see the nuclear bombs, you see all that stuff, and it scares people, and it is a powerful thing. But modern nuclear, I mean, we have the nuclear aircraft carriers that can power, whole towns, or I think in Puerto Rico they pulled them up when they were powering like half the island or something like that. But they're floating around in the ocean all the time, and they don't have issues. So we can miniaturize these things and make them work. I mean, this is way out of my wheelhouse in Deptford, but just to.
I'm definitely out of mine.
I do not want a nuclear power plant in Deptford. I'll say that.
Yeah.
we're a little too packed in for that.
Right. You don't want it in your town, which is understandable. So another chunk of the budget, and Jack touched on this. We are a sanctuary state. It was announced in 2018, and it should be repealed. Now let me say something. There's one thing to repeal so that we don't invite more people here, because knowing that we're a sanctuary state, we're inviting. And there's quite a different matter on what to do with the people that are here. Federal is dealing with that to a certain extent. We don't need the criminal element to be here.
No.
But the point is it should be repealed so we don't invite more, because ICE agents are not working with the police. And there's starting to be a growing list of assaults, murders, and rapes.
I think it's the other way around. In the Democrat states, the sanctuary states, they are not working with the ICE agents.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. No, I knew where you were going.
Right, they're not
and that's utterly wrong.
Right. They're not working with them. And so for a matter of safety, that's just for starters.
Yeah.
That isn't a good thing. So the other part of it is the sheer expense to the state of New Jersey. If this is really what taxpayers want to vote for, want to pay for, we're looking at 12% of our population being illegal immigrant.
In New Jersey.
About 12%. If you're looking at about close to a million.
Okay.
So you've got that. And then there's about a 7.3 billion. There's an estimate. There's a report called Save New Jersey that's out there by Paul Kenitra, Assemblyman, if you want to take a look at it. There's all kinds of issues. There's the housing issue. There's the welfare issue. There's food. There's medical, legal defense for these people, for and against them. And again, we're going back to K through 12 education in the schools.
Yeah. I mean, my thing with
all of this is, if this is what New Jersey wants to pay for and everybody wants to pay for it, you know what? I'm on board. If I'm going to say that as someone who's supposed to represent the people if I get elected. But I just want you to know, this is what you're electing to pay for.
Yeah.
It's not going to come, it's going to come out of your pocket. If this is what you want, I'll stick with you.
Yeah, I mean, on the immigration issue, unfortunately, I mean, I don't fault anybody wanting to come here for a better life. We are the best country in the world, and it is better here compared to anywhere else. So, if I was in the same position, I'd do the same thing to get here and help my family. Absolutely. But if we continue to allow this unfettered immigration, we're going to lose everything that is good about our country.
Right.
We have rules for a reason, and those are the things that keep us safe. The state definitely should be working a lot more closely with the federal government in order to solve this issue.
Guess what's going on in other Western countries in the world?
The same thing.
Okay, where they have, I'll just say real briefly, I was in Spain walking this Camino Santiago, if anybody's ever heard of it. You have to submit your passport everywhere you go, and the police keep record of you for 2 full years. They want to know when you come in, when you go out of the country.
Wow.
And it's this way in other Western countries.
Yeah.
I think we have another caller.
Oh, no, we got a couple minutes left. He's giving us
Okay,
some more.
a few more minutes.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, go try and get into another country illegally.
Right.
Are they just going to let you stay and pay for all your stuff? No. They're going to sort it out. Well, I mean, some of the Western
There's
countries,
some of them are,
depending on where you're coming from.
bending and doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, the point is that you can't, as a tour, you have to show up, provide your passport. They want to know where you are.
Yeah.
And you just can't melt into the population and hang around.
Yeah,
That's not going to
I think people have empathy for the issue.
Yeah.
And they want these people to be treated properly, and I do too. The claim that they're just being thrown into concentration camps and all that, I can't stand that. But that's for a whole another show. We only got a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up before.
Okay. Well, Derek, I sure hope we can get our Deptford group in.
Oh, yeah.
I hope we can get them elected.
If you want to come out and help in Deptford, you can go over to Facebook Deptford Republican Forum. You can go to DeptfordNJGOP.org. That's our website. You can see more about our candidates or policies. Donate there if you like, and you can always send us an email, djsderek@DeptfordNJGOP.org.
Okay. Let me give you my website, Ditzel and Gonzalez. For LD5.com. That's Ditzel, Ditzel, and Gonzalez that's FOR, LD5 at, just .com. That's our web address. You can also find us on the Camden County GOP or on Twitter at Connie4NJ. Connie4, the number 4NJ. I think that about wraps it up. I'm really happy we could do this together.
I'm glad you invited me to do this. And I love this kind of stuff. I'll talk about it for hours if they let me. He's giving me the 1 minute mark, so I don't have much more time.
Okay.
I really appreciate you inviting me out, and I appreciate Damon for having us.
Yeah. Everybody listen in every day at 5 p.m. There's always something new.
America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth. America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.